Jane, a curious and somehow mischievous SS2 student, had excused herself from class to use the restroom. As she approached the boys' bathroom, she heard a soft sound and, driven by an unexplainable urge, peeked through a crack in the door. And to her surprise, she saw Corporal Moses, a handsome and popular youth corps member, unzipping his trousers. What she saw next left her breathless. She saw an impressive size and length of his manhood. A wave of unexpected arousal washed over her. Before she could control herself, she stumbled into the bathroom, her heart pounding. Moses, startled by her sudden appearance, reacted without thinking. Corporal Moses, caught off guard by Jane's invasion, felt a surge of both shock and an undeniable attraction. The unexpected turn of events quickly took a U-turn. He quickly drew her closer and bent her over the sink, his actions fueled by a combination of surprise and a primal urge. Jane, initially startled, found herself strangely surrendering to the moment. The sex experience was intense and unfamiliar, yet strangely exciting. As the encounter ended, they both smiled. Jane made Corporal Moses to guarantee her meeting him at the same place the next day. He agreed and walked away hurriedly. Jane walked to the class happily and overwhelmed. Her closest friends Ella, Helen, and ELO asked why she looked so happy even after taking a longer time than usual. She told them she will explain everything on their way home. When the school day came to an end, the four friends called their driver for pickup. While waiting, Jane confided in her closest friends. She described the encounter in detail, emphasizing the impressive size of Moses' manhood. Her friends, interested and curious, were eager to witness this phenomenon for themselves. They planned going to the bathroom the same time the next day, a plan that would push the boundaries of their innocence and lead them down a path of forbidden desires. The next day, during the school break, Jane, with a mischievous smile in her eye, led her friends to the boys' bathroom. Corporal Moses, anticipating a possible confrontation, was ready. He had strategically positioned himself, ensuring a clear view. As the girls entered, their eyes widened in awe at the sight before them. A wave of excitement swept through them, and they eagerly succumbed to the temptation. Moses had sex with them one after the other. They all enjoyed and experienced the forbidden pleasure firsthand. The encounter with Corporal Moses left an unforgettable mark on the girls. The forbidden nature of the experience, coupled with the intimacy, sparked an unending desire within them. They craved more, yearning to revisit that intoxicating sensation. Their schoolwork suffered, their thoughts consumed by the memory of Moses and the forbidden pleasures they had shared. Their innocent lives took a dramatic and irreversible turn. Fueled by their newfound obsession, the girls decided to take matters into their own hands. They secretly informed their drivers that they no longer required transportation home after school. This unexpected announcement raised eyebrows, but the girls remained firm, eager to pursue their secret meetings with Moses. Their parents, initially unconcerned, began to notice a little shift in their daughter's behavior, a growing sense of secrecy and a preoccupation with something unknown. With their transportation problem solved, the girls began following Moses home after school. They would secretly observe him from a distance, their hearts pounding with anticipation. These always fueled their desire, turning their innocent infatuation into a dangerous obsession. They would spend hours fantasizing about the next encounter, their minds consumed by the image of Moses, his big manhood and the forbidden pleasures they craved. One afternoon, led by their growing confidence, the girls decided to take a bolder step. They followed Moses to his apartment, because of how they cracked for sex. As he entered the building, they followed him, their eyes scanning the windows, waiting for him to open the door for them. And once he does, they swing into action. This experience was sweet and terrifying at the same time because it's a mix of forbidden desires and the fear of being caught. With each passing day, the girls' secret activities grew more daring. They would spend hours outside Moses' apartment building, waiting for him to return, their presence becoming increasingly noticeable to the neighbors. The risk of being discovered grew with each passing day, but their obsession continued to fuel their actions, pushing them further and further into the realm of danger. One evening, as Moses returned home, he noticed the girls waiting outside. A sense of curiosity and a hint of excitement ran through him. He invited them inside, his apartment becoming the new stage for sex. The girls, overwhelmed by the opportunity, eagerly accepted, their hearts pounding with anticipation. This continued for months, their frequency increasing with each passing week. The girls, now deeply entangled in this forbidden relationship, began to neglect their studies, their social lives, and their families. Their parents, growing increasingly concerned, noticed the dramatic shift in their daughter's behavior, their once active personalities fading into shadows of secrets and introverted. The girl's unusual behavior and frequent absences from home began to attract attention in the neighborhood. Whispers started to circulate, fueled by curiosity and suspicion. The neighbors, noticing the girls hanging around Moses' apartment building, began to suspect the nature of their relationship. The rumors that were initially low began to gain momentum, threatening to expose their forbidden secret. One evening, as the girls were leaving Moses' apartment, they were confronted by Mrs. Adebayo, a nosy neighbor known for her sharp tongue and keen observation. Mrs. Adebayo, armed with a barrage of accusatory questions, demanded an explanation for their frequent visits to Moses' apartment. The girls, caught off guard and terrified, stammered out unconvincing answers, with fears obviously on their faces. The confrontation with Mrs. Adebayo ignited a firestorm of rumors. The news of the girls' secret meetings with Moses spread like wildfire throughout the neighborhood. The whispers turned into loud speculations, fueled by Mrs. Adebayo's dramatic retelling of the encounter. The girls, now ridiculed by their peers and shunned by their neighbors, found themselves trapped in a web of their own making. The spreading rumors finally reached the ears of the girls' parents. Initially dismissive of the gossip, they began to investigate, their concerns growing with each passing day. They noticed the dramatic changes in their daughter's behavior, their decreasing grades, and their increasingly withdrawn personalities. A sense of unease settled over them, a growing fear that something fishy was unfolding behind the scenes. Concerned by the escalating rumors and their daughter's erratic behavior, the parents decided to confront them. They gathered the girls in the living room, their voices strict and their eyes filled with apprehension. They demanded answers, wanting to know the truth behind the whispers and the reason for their daughter's strange behavior. The girls, faced with their parents' unwavering gaze, were forced to confront the truth, their carefully constructed pleasures crumbling under the weight of their parents' harshness. Cornered by their parents' relentless questioning, the girls finally confessed. They revealed the truth about their encounters with Moses, the forbidden pleasures they had shared, and the dangerous path they had embarked upon. The parents, stunned by the revelation, were a mixture of shock, disbelief, and anger. The once peaceful atmosphere in their homes was shattered, replaced by a tense silence filled with unspoken accusations and simmering emotions. The parents were consumed by a whirlwind of emotions: anger, disappointment, and fear. They were furious at their daughters for their reckless behavior, their defiance, and the potential consequences of their actions. They were deeply disappointed in their daughter's judgment and the moral compromises they had made. And they were terrified of the social stigma, the potential legal repercussions, and the long-term damage this experience could inflict on their daughters' lives. Armed with the knowledge of their daughter's actions, the parents sought out Moses. They confronted him with their daughter's confessions, their voices laced with anger and accusation. Moses, initially taken aback by the parents' fury, attempted to defend himself, claiming the sex was agreed and mutual. However, his explanations fell on deaf ears. The parents insisted that he had taken advantage of their innocent daughters. News of the girls' scandalous behavior quickly reached the school. The principal, alerted by concerned parents and teachers, launched an investigation. The girls, facing suspension and potential expulsion, were summoned to the principal's office. The confrontation was intense, filled with moral lectures and stern warnings about the consequences of their actions. The girls, humbled and remorseful, accepted their punishment, their carefree school life now overshadowed by the weight of their transgressions. The news of the girls' scandalous behavior spread like wildfire throughout the community. They became the subject of gossip and ridicule, their once respected families facing social ostracism. The girls, once popular and admired, were now shunned by their peers, their reputation tarnished beyond repair. They endured the cruel whispers, the scornful glances, and the constant reminders of their past indiscretions. The girls were left to live with the devastating consequences of their actions. Their academic performance paused, their social lives crumbled, and their self-esteem shattered. They struggled to cope with the shame, the guilt, and the social isolation they now endured. The once vibrant and carefree teenagers were now shadows of their former selves, haunted by the memories of their past transgressions. Determined to rebuild their lives, the girls sought redemption. They sought guidance from counselors, attended therapy sessions, and worked tirelessly to regain the trust and respect of their families and the community. They faced their challenges with a newfound maturity, acknowledging the gravity of their mistakes and striving to make amends for their actions. The parents, though deeply hurt and disappointed, gradually began to soften their stance. They witnessed their daughter's genuine remorse, their unwavering commitment to self-improvement, and their determination to rebuild their lives. Slowly but surely, forgiveness began to blossom, replacing the anger and resentment that had once consumed them. As the girls demonstrated genuine remorse and a commitment to positive change, the whispers subsided, and the social mockery began to diminish. The community, witnessing their transformation, slowly began to extend a hand of forgiveness, offering them a second chance to redeem themselves. The experience left an unforgettable mark on the girls' lives. They learned a valuable lesson about the importance of self-control, the consequences of their actions, and the value of their reputations. The incident served as a constant reminder of the dangers of unchecked desires and the importance of making responsible choices. While the girls struggled to rebuild their lives, Moses was not immune to the consequences of his actions. Even in his suspension as a teacher while the school gathered evidence, he was haunted by the guilt of his involvement, the pain he had inflicted on the girls and their families. The scandal tarnished his reputation, impacting his social life and his career prospects. He learned a harsh lesson about the importance of respecting boundaries and the potential consequences of his actions. 3 months later, the girls returned back to school. They had to take their studies extra seriously so they could move to the last year of their secondary school. The girls learned firsthand the dangers of peer pressure. They realized how easily they had succumbed to the influence of their friends, their judgment clouded by the desire for acceptance and belonging. They learned the importance of cultivating their own sense of self-worth and making choices based on their own values and beliefs. The scandal, though deeply damaging, also had a lasting impact on the community. It served as a cautionary tale, reminding parents, schools, communities, and families of the importance of open communication with their children, the dangers of unchecked curiosity, and the need for constant vigilance in guiding their children through the complexities of adolescence. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to more.